Two more sleeps, Knicks fans. Two more sleeps, and the NBA season will be here. We're going to face off against the Memphis Grizzlies on Wednesday, game 1 of 82. And I want to ask you guys, who do you got winning the basketball game? Type NYK for the New York Knicks or MEM for the Memphis Grizzlies. Welcome into New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. As always, in today's show, we're going to go over the latest trade rumors because an NBA executive have linked the Knicks and Josh Richardson. We'll talk about that, and I have a trade idea that I want to ask you guys about. But first, let's start with the injury news, the stuff that actually is impactful for the New York Knicks, especially with the season opener just a couple of days away. Obi Toppin sprained that ankle against the Washington Wizards in the preseason finale, shot that mid-range jumper in the corner and just backed up and then stepped on a fan's foot on the courtside seats, unfortunate as it gets, stayed on the bench for a little while, then went to the locker room, didn't come back, and now he is officially questionable for the season opener against the Memphis Grizzlies. If Obi is not able to go, that's going to suck. I just love watching Obi Toppin play basketball, and he's going to have a big role and be a big part of this rotation this year. Let's have our fingers crossed. Let's hope that Obi Toppin will be ready to go come Wednesday and get back 100% from that ankle injury. Another injury, Quentin Grimes, as we know, has been nursing that foot. They're calling it a sore foot injury. He was in the walking boot for a couple of weeks. He played on Friday, but he did tell the media that he was feeling some pain. Right here, Stephen Bondi said that Quentin Grimes told him on Friday that the pain was around his heel. He's been limited in practice the past couple of days, and he also is questionable for the season opener. Look, he pretty much being hurt made him not a starter for the New York Knicks in the preseason. I like how on Friday he got some good run with the starting five. He was with Jalen Brunson, R.J. Barrett, Mitchell Robinson, and Julius Randle at that shooting guard spot, pretty much replacing Fournier. So we got a look of what that starting five could look like if Grimes inevitably and hopefully gets into that spot. But it sounds like he's questionable for the season opener. And that sucks because both of these guys, they're going to have major roles for the New York Knicks this season. A lot of people are saying that you can't play the vets. There are no vets on this team anymore. You got Derrick Rose, you got Julius Randle, and Evan Fournier. Those are only really your three vets. Julius is 27, Fournier's 30, and Derrick Rose, he can play on my basketball team as long as he wants. Derrick Rose, watching him play basketball back with the Knicks on Friday, so much fun. I just love that guy, Derrick Rose. Shout out Derrick Rose. You know the drill. You know how it goes. I want to ask you this question, though. Who is more important for the New York Knicks in the 2022 regular season for the orange and blue? Who's going to play a bigger role? Who's a better player? Who is more important? With injury news circling both these guys, I want to ask this question. Type 1 for Obi Toppin. Type 6 for the sharpshooter, Quentin Grimes. And also, with the season opener right around the corner, make sure that you are subscribed. Hit that big red button. Informative, free, entertaining coverage of the Knicks videos every single day. And we are going to be live on the channel for a watch party come game 1, Knicks versus Grizzlies. We did a couple watch parties during the preseason. They were a whole lot of fun. We were drinking. We were calling the game. We were interacting with the chat. We pride ourselves on being one of the most interactive channels that covers the Knicks on YouTube. And we're going to be live this Wednesday against the Grizzlies. So subscribe, turn your notifications on, and we'll see you this Wednesday for the watch party. The latest trade rumors in the NBA surround Josh Richardson, the 3-and-D 2-guard, small forward wing, actually play a little point guard as well, has been linked to the New York Knicks by an anonymous NBA executive from Heat Nation, a blog boy website. This was the quote. I don't think the rumors are too strong, but as my job here on New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports is to bring in all the rumors surrounding the New York Knicks, talk about them, get your opinion, and then we engage and figure out if it makes sense. This is what the NBA executive had to say. He said, I'd like Richardson for the New York Knicks too. They need a good, solid veteran who plays both ways on the wing. They could give up a young guy or a pick. So let's talk about the player that Josh Richardson is. We know that he's a good perimeter defender. That's his calling card in the NBA, whether he was with The Dallas Mavericks, where his stint with the Mavs didn't go all that well. He was still somewhat of a solid defender. Made his name in the NBA with the Miami Heat. He was good with the Sixers for that season. Was with the Boston Celtics, but was then traded to the San Antonio Spurs, and he played good. In the 2021 season overall, he played 65 games, 44 with the Celtics, 21 with the Spurs, and he averaged 10.2 points per game, 1.8 assists, shot 44% from the field, and 41.5% from downtown. Josh Richardson is a sharpshooter, and that's what he would bring to the New York Knicks. He's an elite perimeter defender, and that's kind of a worrisome spot, and I would say attribute that this New York Knicks team kind of lacks right now. Jalen Brunson, solid defender, not an elite defender. He's a smart defender. He'll take a charge. He's not going to get absolutely torched unless he gets switched up onto like bigger guards. Like when he had to guard Bradley Beal in the post, that wasn't a good advantage for him. He's a knockdown shooter for three. Shot 42% last year when he was traded to the San Antonio Spurs. And he has playoff experience. He's just a veteran, a guy that's still just 29 years old, but he's played in the NBA for a long time. He's been around, a guy that's played 438 games in the NBA, 30 career playoff games. He would bring something to this New York Knicks team that they don't have right now. But in trade rumors, you got to talk about the trade. What would it actually take for the New York Knicks to get Josh Richardson in a trade from San Antonio? San Antonio is tanking, guys. They don't want to win basketball games. They want to be in the sweepstakes for Victor Wembanyama, and who can blame him, as well as Scoot Henderson. This is going to be a loaded draft class. So what about this trade idea? The Knicks, they receive Josh Richardson, and then you give up Evan Fournier and the first-round pick that you got from the Detroit Pistons, which is top 18 protected, which means that pick is not going to convey this year. The Pistons are going to be one of the worst teams in the NBA. Then that would roll over to 2023, which is top 16, 2024, which is top 14, then it goes top 12, and then it conveys to like a second-round pick. So it's not a valuable first-round trade chip. All first-round picks, like we know, are not created equal. So I want to ask you guys this question. Would you make this trade? Would you send Evan Fournier to San Antonio for Josh Richardson, but you got to add on a little bit of sweetener and a first-round pick? Type A for accept, type D for decline. I'll give you my take on this trade in a second, but first, I want to tell you guys about our proud sportsbook partner, BetUS. Go to chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code right there, chat125. They're going to hook you guys up with a 125% deposit bonus. So when you go to chatsports.com/bet and use that promo code, chat125, put $100 into your account. They're literally going to give you a free $125. Bet on the Knicks opening night. Bet on the Giants. Bet on the Jets. Bet on the Yankees. Wish you could bet on the Mets. There's a lot of stuff to bet on, though. Do it with our proud sportsbook partner, BetUS, chatsports.com/bet, promo code chat125. I would make that trade, though, and they're for a lot of reasons, and I'll try to best explain my thoughts here in a second. But when you make that trade, you lose a little bit in shooting, shot creation in Fournier, and probably a little bit of playmaking. But I think Richardson is a decent playmaker. He's not a point guard, but he can handle the ball a little bit. And a lot of people watching right now are probably saying, why on earth would we trade a first-round pick? And I get that. Losing a first-round pick in this kind of deal sucks. But that first-round pick is as bad as a first-round pick gets. The Detroit Pistons are going to be one of the bottom 18 teams in the NBA, and that pick is top 18 protected, which means the Pistons are going to keep that pick. Go back to the Donovan Mitchell trade rumors. They told you, we don't value the protected picks that the New York Knicks have. And here they are, and for good reason. This pick from the Mavericks is top 10 protected, which will ultimately, unless there's a major injury to Luka Doncic, that pick will convey. And that's really the only pick I see on the screen that will convey for the New York Knicks. So they may have 4 picks on paper, but they're only going to have 2 first-round picks coming up this year. This Pistons pick is not going to convey. That's why I included it in the trade. It's not a valuable first-round pick, guys. We know all first-round picks are not created equal. You've learned that if you watch the show or if you're just a Knicks fan, smartest fans in the world. This Wizards pick probably won't convey this year, probably next year. The Wizards are bad, but then it goes like a top 10 or a top 12 protected pick, and that's very doable for that to convey. And look, another reason. You get off of Fournier's You get off of Fournier's deal a year sooner. I said it. I got it. Wow, that was a tongue twister. What do I mean by that? Evan Fournier is on a 2-year deal with a player option for year 3, and Josh Richardson is on an expiring deal. So you're like, why would we include a first-round pick for someone who's on an expiring deal? Because you get off of the $18 million that you're owing Fournier guaranteed over the next 2 years, and then you get $11 million in salary cap space via Josh Richardson, and you would be able to re-sign him if you want. You get to create salary cap space. You get off of Evan Fournier. I know a lot of people would want to do that. And you get to add a solid player in Josh Richardson, who I think would be your starting shooting guard in your starting 5 if you did trade for him. Jalen Brunson at the 1. I love Jalen Brunson. You guys know that. Josh Richardson, I think he fits perfectly in the starting 5. He doesn't need touches. You don't have to draw up plays for him. He takes away the responsibility of being the Knicks' best wing defender from R.J. Barrett. And then that could be Josh Richardson. Julius Randle is Julius Randle. He looked better in the preseason. Still not all that high on that guy. A guy that I am very high on, though, is Mitchell Robinson. He absolutely dominated in the preseason, had games with like 8 offensive rebounds. I think by the end of the year, kind of a different point I'm making right here, but by the end of the year, the Knicks' best 3 players will be Brunson, Barrett, and Mitchell Robinson. I can almost guarantee that. Mitchell Robinson, he's on a steal of a deal, and he's going to have a great year for the New York Knicks. And I think he's going to compete to be an all-defensive team type of center in the NBA. I appreciate everybody that has made New York Knicks Now a part of their day today. Guys, the videos have been a little bit slow. Been pretty busy here at work with Yankees and Giants stuff. Been trying to do as much Knicks stuff as I can. But I can promise you this. With the season starting in 2 days on Wednesday, we're getting back in the lab. We're going to continue to grind for you guys. Videos every single day is my goal throughout the NBA season. So if that's what you're looking for, subscribe. And if you made it this far in the video, be a real one. Drop a real one in the comment section right now.